Hey everybody, it's Mike Schramm, and today I'm going to teach you here how to make an omelet. I've been eating these omelets for about a year now. Actually, every time I make breakfast, I end up making one of these. First thing we're going to do, this is a great breakfast, and I think you'll really enjoy it, and you'll be able to impress anyone you happen to have around for breakfast with your cooking skills. So, what you're going to need first is some eggs. I've cracked them already. I tried to do it one-handed while holding the camera. It didn't work out, so I cracked them and mixed them up. I'm going to make some mushrooms, some of these sliced cremini mushrooms that I got from Trader Joe's, but you can obviously put in an omelet whatever you want. I'll talk about that in just a second as well. I'm going to throw some oregano in there, but could be almost anything. And we're going to start with some Evo, some extra virgin olive oil. Put it in. You're going to need a pan like this, a non-stick skillet. This skillet that I have is actually kind of old. Put some olive oil in there, kind of push it around, make sure it's kind of covering everything. That's nice. Olive oil is good for you, right? I think so. Put on the heat. You want a good bit of heat anytime you're cooking, so make sure get the oil mixed up in there. Now, technically, I did it wrong. For stir fry, and for any type of sautéing, I heard that you want a hot pan and cold oil, but I actually put the oil in first. But that's okay. It'll be all right. So let the oil heat up just a little bit there. You'll notice that as the oil gets hot, it'll get a little more runny, a little more viscous. And then we're going to toss in the mushrooms there. A good bit of mushrooms. There we go. We're going to let those sit and brown for just a little bit to try to get started. Like I said, I mixed up the eggs here already. I'm doing 3-egg omelet today for a number of different reasons. Usually I only do about 2 if it's just me, but I usually also do bacon, and I'm out of bacon today, so I'm going to do 3 eggs. Mix them up. I just cracked them in the bowl and mixed them up. Sometimes, if you have some milk, you can add some milk in. It makes a little thicker omelet. And if you have some hot sauce, too, this is another good thing to add to just your raw eggs right before you mix them up. Mix in a little hot sauce, and that'll get you started on the flavoring for your omelet, however you decide to do it. Done with the olive oil, you can see the mushrooms are coming along here pretty well. You can flip them just a little bit if you want to catch both sides of them. They're going to brown up just a little bit. These mushrooms that I chose are actually brown already. The cremini mushrooms, I guess, or I don't know exactly what they're called, but cremini mushrooms. But you can use whatever kind of mushrooms you want. I like to get them sliced as well. I like to buy them sliced because I don't have time to sit here and chop them and do all that stuff. But you can chop them to the pieces that you want if you think these are too big. I don't really care. I just like eating them. You can also mix in, obviously, anything with your omelet. Peppers are good. I've done quite a few times. Peppers and onions. Meat, obviously, if you have some extra ham or turkey sitting around. A turkey omelet. I don't know if I've ever had one, but it sounds good. And yeah, like I said, you can mix in almost anything. So that's pretty much it. We're going to let the mushrooms sit for a while. Like I said, this is an excellent dish to put together if you're just on your own and you want a hot breakfast. It's real simple to cook. And like I said, it ends up being pretty impressive because, omelet is it's a French type of food. So you can pretend that you're a real French chef without actually knowing anything about French food. Just like me. I don't have any idea what's going on. And I cook these all the time. So, alright. Sounds like our mushrooms are going along pretty well there. These types of mushrooms started out a little brown, but they're getting a little bit more brown there. And get a nice close up. Get some oil spattering on the camera, but that's okay. Yeah, and like I said, I usually put this with some bacon, some turkey bacon. I'm out of turkey bacon at the moment, but I usually do that, and then mix in some fruit. Eat a banana or some apples or whatever I happen to have sitting around that day. So. Alright, I think we're getting pretty good. Don't forget that they're going to cook too as the eggs cook with them, so you don't need to cook them all completely. Get the eggs in there. Now with 2 eggs, I usually have a tough time getting them spread out right. So, you want to make sure that the eggs are evenly spread out across the whole pan, because eventually, that you're going to be flipping this thing and doing all this stuff. So get the eggs in there. Make sure they're mixed up a little bit. If you have to move them around a little bit, you can do that and get them in there all set. And then you're going to let it sit there Now the oil obviously is going to keep it from sticking to the pan. Now, like I said before, this pan is pretty old, so odds are that it might stick. And in those emergencies, we have the old wooden spoon that's going to help us get the omelet out of there. But it should be okay. The other thing, what you're going to do here is you can see that it's bubbling a little bit already there. You're going to wait for it to do what a pancake does. Whenever you flip a pancake, you see bubbles on the sides of it. And so same thing with the omelet. If you see bubbles start to form up on the sides, that means it's ready to be flipped. That means it's cooked underneath. So you can see it's kind of cooking around the edges here, but it's not quite cooking in this center part. So we'll let it sit there for a little bit. What you want is the bottom to kind of become a little more solid, take kind of a grip down there, so that when you do go to flip it around, you can hopefully get it all in one piece and it'll all flip up there. So, oh, and now's a good time, now that I'm thinking about it, to throw in some spices. In fact, I'm probably a little bit late with these. They probably could have gone in a little bit earlier. We get some oregano in there. If you want to throw in some salt and pepper, you can do that to taste. I like to use parsley every once in a while. Like I said, hot sauce. I mix hot sauce into eggs when they're just sitting in the bowl raw. All kinds of stuff you can throw in omelets. You can make it taste however you want it to taste. So, all right, we're getting a pretty big bubble in there, but we're not quite cooked on the inside, so I'm gonna mix it around just a little bit. All right, I'm not doing it the official way. I'm gonna use the wooden spoon here to kind of get that down. But I know it's kind of bad. You're not supposed to do that. An omelet is a dish that you're supposed to be able to cook with no utensils at all. You're just supposed to flip it around and cook it that way. So. I like to have my omelets pretty well done too. Some people like the omelet cooked really well on the outside and then kind of still runny on the inside, but that's all the taste. You know, eggs you can eat raw. You know, it's not very tasty, but it's certainly possible. It's not the healthiest thing, but you know, Rocky used to drink eggs raw, right? Was that Rocky? Who was that? I don't know. So it's not going to kill you if it's a little bit raw, but I like to cook them pretty well done. Alright, I think we're pretty good on the bottom here. We're going to see if we can do a little half flip here. So, it's up in the air. And a little bit of a flip. Not completely where you want it. What you really want to do is try to flip it halfway so it's half and half. And then, like I said, it kind of cooks. The outside gets cooked, this sort of like brown color that it is right now. And then the inside cooks from the heat as you do it out. So, yeah, this is probably a little overcooked. If you're going to talk to a professional chef about it, but I like it that way, and it's going to cook a little bit of it. So once it gets all solid like this, you should be good to go. And then you take it on over to your plate over here, and then you can just slide it right out on the plate, and you're set to go. Now I just leave that there for now. It's going to sit on the plate for a little while. And it's actually cooking. The inside of it is actually cooking as you let it sit here. So it's a little runny when you first pull it off, but then as you take it out and as I go to eat it later, the inside is actually cooking up as you do it. So there's a mushroom omelet for you. And then of course I gotta get my orange juice out and eat it here. But thanks for watching. Hopefully that'll encourage you to try making your own. There you go.